Hello, 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 hello. All right, y'all. Let's get some more people in here before we start talking. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully everyone is having a wonderful day. My name is Brill. Welcome to the Pedestal Wife Society. So let's talk about love doesn't fix everything, and that seems to be a continuing ideal that I come across all the time. I don't watch, a little known fact about me. Some of you all send me things from television. I don't watch television. Usually television watches me, okay? So I don't watch television. So someone had to send me that little clip of Love in Huntsville of Tiffany Whitlow and her admitting that she left her husband because there wasn't enough money. And her feeling sad because he had passed away. Do y'all know how many times I have seen that little clip on everybody's, if anybody got a platform, they have spoken about that clip. And it's interesting that no one talks about the elephant in the room. Everyone's talking about the fact that, well, maybe she shouldn't have left him, or maybe women are fickle, that this is what's going to happen to you if you get married. And it's interesting that these are the very people who are not interested in marriage, but they talk about marriage all the time and what's good and what's not for marriage. So I thought this was interesting because I guarantee you that Tiffany probably went to some of her mentors, the women that were surrounding her, and I bet she mentioned this issue. She mentioned that. And I'm just assuming because I know how it goes because I have heard it myself, especially being married young myself. I have heard about they'll tell you immediately that love is going to fix it all. They indicate that love is going to make it better. Love is going to help you thrive. Love is going to do so much for you all. But love was never meant to do all this. And there's not enough. There's definitely not a different perspective when it comes to this conversation. There's too many people talking about, painting her as being a bad person. And in that clip, one of the things that she did, y'all, I love the fact that she admitted that she was selfish. She did not go up here and say, that it was all him, that he was a horrible person. She really just admitted that she was selfish and she wanted something more. And she leveled up. The thing about women, if we would stop selling this fantasy that love is going to fix everything, that you don't need anything else other than the other person, and to succeed or have a great relationship, we will have healthy relationships. Because love wasn't meant to do what you all think it's supposed to do. Especially when you start from that Disney perspective of that the princess gets the prince and love solves all the issues, even though the princess comes into the situation where she has poverty wounds, where she has never seen a healthy relationship, where she doesn't understand herself as a woman. The prince comes in where maybe he saw a healthy relationship, but he doesn't necessarily want what he sees his parents having. I think we put too much pressure on love, and then we're surprised when it doesn't fix everything. But then that is the answer that you get from people a lot of the times. And you would be surprised, from the youngest to the oldest, you'll get love will fix all things. People really truly do still have that point of view and perspective. So I wouldn't be surprised if she had communication with other people and they indicated that love will fix it all. Because trust me when I tell you, one of the things I do know, I might not know her personally, that might be an assumption, but I do know one thing, is that our intuition never fails us. I know her intuition was telling her that something was wrong. A lot of women, what women do, the women make the biggest mistake. We choose ourselves after the marriage instead of before. And since we're choosing ourselves after the marriage, we start getting an idea of what we want in the relationship. We start recognizing that love is not enough. We start realizing that, hey, the things that I desire may not mesh with my spouse or my partner, the person I've chosen. So love doesn't fix everything. We need to stop telling people that. We need to stop putting so much pressure on love. Love has so much pressure because it's the fairy tale view. It's the Disney perspective that most people have. We think that if you love someone, that love will fix it. If you love someone, that love will change them. If we love someone, that love will make it all better. And the thing is, once you get older and a little wiser, you start to learn that love doesn't fix or change anything. It doesn't make that person better. It doesn't make them more ambitious. It doesn't make them be better for you. Love does not fix everything. And we have to stop telling young women that love will fix it all. And one of the things is, do y'all realize that your brain does not even develop before the age of 25? So it is to me, I feel like it's a blessing. I got married at 19 years old. It is a blessing that age 25, I still held some of the same ideals that I had held at 19. Because sometimes that doesn't happen. What happens is that women start choosing themselves, they start getting better, start becoming a better version, they start leveling up and start deciding they want something different. So honestly, to me, there's no judgment there. There's no judgment there for that young lady, because I understand exactly probably what she encountered. I know that a lot of people have a very Disney-like idea of love. They feel like love is going to fix everything. Even if you are you're not quite sure about a relationship, or you're not quite sure about a person, people would just tell you to go with love. They'll not just go with God, go with love. Go with love and it'll work itself out. And I'm here to tell you it will not. Because love was never meant to have the pressure that we have put on it. We put so much on someone. You loving someone, you expect them to change. You expect them to be a better person. You expect them to have an understanding. You expect them to level up and, get all different versions of them. Love has too much pressure. And because of the fact it was never meant to do that. So I can kind of see where she is coming from that perspective. And we're talking about Tiffany Whitlow. If anyone else wants to chime in, because I hate talking to myself. We're talking about Tiffany Whitlow on Love in Huntsville. That little clip has went viral. Anybody that is anybody, and especially the manosphere, they have definitely picked that little clip up, and just for it to fit their narrative that women ain't ish, And I think that is only coming from that's only one part of the picture. That's only one part of the perspective. The thing is, we have to stop promoting this love is going to fix everything and that poverty is the way to go. And I am one of those people I do understand that you can be feminine and poor, okay? I don't believe that you have to have money in order to be feminine. Those two they can correlate, but they're not. One can have one without the other. So you can be feminine and you can still be poor. But the question becomes, how long can your femininity take that pressure? How long can your femininity take that pressure before you start buckling under the pressure and can no longer thrive and only can survive, and then you start being fluid towards your masculine energy? Because think about it, how can you rest in your femininity, but you're not able to take care of the basic necessities? You don't have the roof over your head, the necessities to take care of your day to day. You're worried about food on the table. You're worried about having the bills paid. So these things will necessarily push you out of feminine energy. So I wouldn't say you can stay there. I would say money is definitely a factor that will push you out of your feminine energy, because you cannot stay and relax and be in that energy and be fluid in that energy when you're too concerned about the bills. Like, I want someone else's opinion. What do you think? Do you think that love can, if you're poor and you stay in that situation, your femininity will be able to thrive? I think that you're going to be too concerned about getting out of poverty and changing your the way your money is flowing and changing the way you're living, that you're going to be too focused on that to actually be. You're not going to be able to thrive in creativity and intuition and your spiritual gifts that are all feminine gifts. You're not going to be able to cultivate those because you're going to be too busy on survival. Survival is going to kick you out of that feminine energy. Yes, you may begin there, but can you last there? That is the question. Can you last in feminine energy in poverty and be able to be and thrive and create those feminine gifts? I would love to know y'all's opinion, because to me, I don't think you can. I believe eventually you're going to buckle under the stress. You're going to be too stressed out to really be concerned about feminine energy. Like, if you worried about what's your next meal, are you really concerned about how to cultivate your spiritual gifts? If you're worried about how you're going to pay your bills, are you really too concerned about how to cultivate those spiritual gifts? Like, something's going to have to give. I don't think you can thrive in feminine energy if you are in poverty. And honestly, poverty, there's been so much research done about poverty. Do y'all know poverty is actually listed as a trauma? And I've been very honest on this page about trauma. I think we need to stop pushing people towards trauma and then being surprised when they don't survive it. Trauma literally rewires the brain and you think differently. So you literally can have the answer to your problems, but you continue to make the same mistake over and over and over because that is all you know. Poverty is trauma, and trauma should be something you avoid at all costs. You shouldn't even want your children to go through trauma because it's not going to do what you think it is. I have plenty of research on trauma for children, and the thing is, people don't survive it. People don't survive it. And I think that's what we need to start having conversations about. We need to stop pushing this love gonna fix it all. We need to start getting back to our roots as women, where we did not marry a man based off love. We married him based off his ability to produce, ability to give provisions, ability to pour into our lives, ability to take care of children, instead of these things that don't matter, like his looks, his height, his sexual whatever. I ain't gonna go there, but I'm just gonna say, y'all know what I'm saying when I say that sexual stuff y'all be talking about online, and that's what y'all are evaluating men based off of. We need to get away from that, because that is not helping us. It is not helping our children. It is not helping our community. We need to change how we're looking at relationships, because love doesn't fix everything. Love will not make someone change, make someone more ambitious. It would not make someone better. It would not make someone realize that they need to level up. Love doesn't do all these things. The person makes the decision to do all these things. We are putting too much pressure on love, and we expect it to do too much in our relationships. We've gotten so far removed from what women are supposed to be doing. Women are not supposed to be choosing men in the manner that we're choosing men in. Okay, y'all, let me see what people are saying, because I don't want to keep talking to myself. But if everybody don't know, we're talking about the little clip that has went viral from Love in Huntsville with, what is her name, Tiffany Whitlow, and she talked about what's the other girl name? I can't remember her name because I don't watch the show like that. The clip just caught my attention because it's been sent to me several times. I literally posted to the page with my opinion. If you want to know it more, definitely go and look at it, because I think it's very important we get away from it. Because I still know some women to this day, if you talk to them about a relationship, they're going to ask you, do you love that person? And see, I think that's a fail. We still got older women will literally ask you, do you love that person? And love is not the reason that you should be having a relationship. Love is something that is actionable, which means once two people are in the relationship and they are in their roles within that relationship, then love happens. Love is not an overnight thing. It's literally an actionable thing. But we've gotten so far away from that because we've been taught that love overcomes everything, that love will fix it. Love will make it better. Love will not put food on your table. Love will not put a roof over your head. Love will not pay your bills. Love will not protect your children. Love won't do any of these things, but that is the thing we've been taught to look for. And I see that a lot of people are going at her. A lot of people are going at Tiffany because she decided to choose herself first. I would say, this is what I would say. I would say, y'all learn to choose yourself first. Stop listening to all these platforms that preach about codependency, because that's what's happening. I see a lot of platforms that are relationship driven. They are pushing codependency in relationships. So when you want something for yourself, or you feel like you have a desire or need in a relationship, you don't even feel like you have the right to bring it up in the relationship anymore, because you're taught to belittle, to make yourself small, to not have a voice. That is what's being pushed currently in any relationship space. That's what I'm seeing. Even when I go to Christian relationship spaces, they are still pushing codependency. They're not pushing interdependency, which is what you need to have healthy relationship, which is just two people that have the ability to speak on their needs and desires and dreams within the relationships. And they're both trying to accomplish that. Two individuals come together and they make a beautiful thing called a relationship. What's happening, you either have a man leading the relationship or a woman leading the relationship. And only one of those people have the ability to speak their needs or have a voice. And that's codependency. When you find yourself in a relationship, the only thing you can do is give everything to have him. Change who you are to have him. Decide you no longer have a dream to have him. Then that's codependency. That's not interdependency. And that's the thing. And it's interesting, I see men and women both pushing the same narrative. It's still not healthy. It's still going to lead to the same ending of a relationship where both of you, either one of you are happy or both of you are miserable. It could be either or. But I would guarantee you this. If you get in a relationship and everything that man desires, you change your entire being to be it, you will be miserable in a relationship. If he gets in a relationship with you and he changes his entire being to be with you, then he will be miserable in the relationship. The thing is, relationships now, they're teaching that only one person gets to be happy. Only one person gets happiness in a relationship. And I see this all the time. I'm not going to speak the platform. I'm not going to call the platform out. But I came across the platform and she was talking about how she changed her whole entire being to be with the man. She changed her hairstyle. She changed her eating habits. She changed the way she exercised in order to be with this man. The man set her down for like 5 years for her to to basically be brainwashed that he is the one that matters and she doesn't matter. And you can see the way she teaches from that perspective too. And I can tell y'all, somebody miserable over there. Someone is miserable. It's not meant to be that way. It's meant to be where two people come together. And if I say, like, there's something not working for me and I'm unhappy and I would like us to look at this particular thing, this means we're both going to sit down. We're both going to have a conversation. We're both going to figure out, okay, what will make it better and what goals that we can set as a couple for the end goal for we can correct it. Then if he sits me down and says, hey, there's something I need you to work on. There's something I want you to do. And I ask him, what is that? And we sit down. We both make a goal. We both sit down and make sure we're working towards correcting that very thing. That's working together. That's making sure both of us get our needs met. It's not one person getting their needs met and the other person is miserable. Because that's codependency. And that's what's being preached. That's what's being preached all over in social media. I haven't really came around any relationship advice pages that don't preach codependence. It's basically either the man is quiet and not speaking or the woman is quiet and not speaking. All right, so let's see what you're saying here. Hey, Pedestal wife, what about if the love comes from the man? Honestly, I'm going to tell you this, and this may hurt some feelings. Y'all, nobody's in love with no one. Like, he may be in lust with you, but no one's in love with anyone. Love takes time. It's actionable. It's doing. It's not this y'all think it's feelings. Love is actionable. Love is choosing that person every single day. Love is being committed to that person every single day. Love is deciding to sit down when you find out that person needs something from you. Love is actionable. It's actually doing things and being committed to that specific person. So even if y'all think he loves you, he doesn't. That is the thing. That is the thing no one wants to admit. Men don't love you like that anyway. He's not in love with you. He may love you, but he's not in love with you. He's not in love with you with the love that matters and lasts. And she isn't either. She isn't either. It literally takes from two people getting a relationship, being in their roles and responsibility in the relationship and being present in the relationship, engaged in the relationship. And that creates love. And then but it comes from the actions of the two people involved. What we think is love is actually lust. It's not love. We think because even I thought that in the beginning. And I realized it couldn't be love because then what is he giving me now? I thought he loved me more than I loved him. I realized he was just in lust because the love that he has for me now is a pale version of what it was then. So I can tell the difference now. Us being in the relationship, us being engaged, us being present in the relationship, us being committed to each other, us doing everything to show up within the relationship every single day. Because if he was in love with me then what is it now? And I can tell you what's now is stronger. It can hold the test of time versus what we had when we first started out. So what we have in the beginning was lust. And that is the truth of the matter. Y'all are not feeling love. There's no such thing until people are in their roles and responsibility. Love comes with commitment, present, engagement, and being in the thing, doing the thing. It's action. And once both of you are actionable, doing those actionable things in the relationship, then love happens. It's deeper. It's let me try to explain it, because I want to put words to it, because most people want words, right? Y'all understand words, but really there is no words. There is no words to having someone who is there for you no matter what. As long as you're not doing the deal breaker things, the things that's gonna, because love is not unconditional, it is conditional. As long as you are showing up, engaged, not doing the deal breaker stuff that the person has set up prior for love, it gets deeper every single day that you're in it. But that's because you're showing up. It's actionable. That is what love is. Love is not the feeling that I felt when I first got married. It's nowhere near it. So since I know that wasn't love, that was lust, and 21 years later, this is actually love, being here, engaged, present, and committed, and absolutely hearing each other and trying to make sure we both are getting our needs met in the relationship, that's love. So no one truly loves anyone in the very beginning. And that's the truth of the matter. Anyone who's been married a long time, I want y'all to, let's if you don't mind, drop in some of your experience, because it's the truth of the matter. When you look at the person that you've been in a relationship with, what you experienced or felt in the beginning, there's nothing to measure it by. It's a deeper feeling. And that's how I know before in the beginning, we both were in lust with each other. We thought it was love. And I think that's what some people get tricked and deceived by, those early feelings. You think it's love when it's just lust. It's just lust, because once you actually are in a role, you're in your role and you're in the relationship, it gets deeper. And it gets to more of a level of commitment and willing to listen to the other person's needs in order to figure out what we need to do in order for our relationship to thrive. But love doesn't fix everything. And we have to stop selling our children that dream. As long as we continue to tell our kids, oh, well, love will fix everything, love will change everything, love will make everything better, we're going to continue to have the disastrous relationships that Tiffany Whitlow experienced. 9 out of 10, if she grew up, most of us have, we grew up around people who told us that love would fix everything. How many of you actually experienced or heard that love is over time, is actionable, is when you're engaged and committed to the relationship, versus some of you think love is just a feeling, it's just an emotion. And I think looking at love like that, looking at it as though just a feeling or emotion, we do disservice to love, because that's truly not what it is. Love is an actionable thing. It is a thing that y'all are willing to do to stay within that relationship and keep it thriving and healthy. That is what love truly is. It is not this flash in a pan of lust, of emotions, of just the romantic things that we like to associate with love. Even those things aren't exactly love. Those are gifts. Those are wonderful. We all love them, right? But that's not exactly love. And I think that we have to promote a better standard of relationships. We need to stop promoting codependent relationships. We need to stop telling young women that love is all you need to fix things. Y'all sitting here letting these young women get married to a man very young that cannot support her and telling her love that will fix everything. Do y'all know that the things that she's going to encounter and go through within that relationship may traumatize her to the point where she will not be fit or want to go through that entire process ever again? That's the thing about trauma. That's the thing we're not telling people about trauma. When you experience it, you don't want to experience anymore. You don't want to get your heart broken over and over and over again. How many of y'all are signing up for that? How many of y'all are signing up to get your heart broken over and over again? See, this is the reason why we have to be very careful with promoting things that will traumatize and harm our young ladies. I keep seeing over and over and over again. I'm on the internet, I'm on social media, I get tons and tons and tons of DMs and emails, and I get a lot of stuff that just blows my mind when it comes to young women being guided to accept love in this type of form. being told that love is going to fix everything. So this woman gets married, and then she wonders why her husband won't stop drinking. She thinks love is going to fix her alcoholic husband. She thinks love is going to fix him from stop cheating. We already got some women who think having a baby is going to stop a man from cheating. That's going to ground a man to stop him from going out here and slinging it all over town. So the thing is, we have to start talking about these and having honest conversations. And a lot of people will leave the building or leave the room because you don't want your idea of Disney to be messed with. But I have to challenge that. One of the things is that my grandmother, I'm so happy she taught me some of these things, and she didn't teach me everything. I learned a lot of things on my own because I was willing and able and wanting to learn. But I'm so happy she taught me that she got married for love. And it wasn't happy. It wasn't happy. She was miserable within that relationship. She might have benefited from it because she did have the foresight to get married to a man who could, bring in provisions. But she was miserable because that feeling and emotion, it basically goes away after a while, especially when you don't have any similar values. You don't have any more, your morals don't connect. Y'all don't see life the same. You have different perspectives for life. All these things are all points that you need to be checking off your list when you're out here, looking to get married or having a marriage mind. You need to be looking at his values. What is his values? What is his morals? What is his character like? What does he believe in? How does he see the world? All these things will affect the overall relationship in the first place. And these are the things that she didn't do her due diligence on. She just fell in love. See, love won't change if a man values something that you don't. It won't. Love won't change if a man doesn't see value in relationships. He doesn't see value in women. He doesn't see value in kids. A love won't change these things. Y'all think love will make a man that falls in love with you will be wanting to go to the moon and back for you. That is, if it's actual love and not lust. And that's the key. That is the key. And that takes him being in his roles and responsibility. A lot of times, y'all are not even asking for that in the first place. That's the reason why so many women get triggered to these level up pages and relationship pages that are saying you should be hypergamous and all these things. But love doesn't fix everything. And we need to stop telling our young women that, because I get that all the time. I get so many young women that are already in marriages, very young, and they're thinking that their man should stop being on video games because he loves her. They're thinking their man should come home because he loves her. They're thinking that their man should be willing to make more money because he loves her. And that's the thing. All of these are all red flags. These are things that he should have under control before you even get in a relationship, because these things will not be changed because he even cares about you. Because this is a part of the person's characteristics. I think we're putting too much pressure on love. We really believe that love is going to make a man come home. I can tell you right now, a man can not come home, because that is not what's going to make him come home. What's going to make a man come home is his values. Because somewhere along the line, he has value. He believes that he should come home as a married man, that he should be home with his family, that he shouldn't be out in the streets as a family man. These are all values. These have nothing to do with love. And see, this is the reason why we need to start making sure that young women know this, so they don't get married and think that this person should do a whole 360, because character matters. Who this person is matters. Love is not going to change who that person is. So if you're young and you're out here and you're marriage minded, stop thinking getting married to this person is going to make this person to a better person, because it won't. A lot of times we're looking at everything through rose-colored glasses and not who the person truly is. And don't do that to yourself. And I think that's the reason a lot of us who get in marriages and it crash and burn is because, one, we weren't taught what we should be looking for. The advice out there is still the same. Even when I was 19 years old getting married, a lot of people still came to me and told me, do you love him? That's all that matters. What? No, it doesn't. That is not all that matters. What matters is who this man is. What does he value? What type of morals does he have? What type of character does he portray? What does he believe in? How does he see the world? Is he too traumatized to learn? All these things matter. So it was interesting to me, even at 19 years old, I heard the same thing that y'all are seeing now. Y'all are seeing the same thing, hearing the same thing that I heard years ago. I got married back in 2000. So imagine this, riddle me this. Why hasn't anything changed? Why haven't women started singing and speaking up and telling their truth? Because we already know that we can't thrive in poverty. We need to start seeing it more and start seeing it with our chest. Y'all stop being scared to admit that you can't thrive in poverty. Stop sitting here lying to people saying that love is all you need. Stop telling your daughters the only thing they need to survive or have a great relationship is to be in love. Because they're going to learn that love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't keep a roof over your head. Love doesn't, keep their needs met. Love doesn't take care of them. Love doesn't keep the upkeep. It doesn't. Stop putting so much pressure on love. And it's interesting that I'm hearing the same things I heard back in 2000 when I was trying to make sure that I was doing and moving correctly. And I'm thankful for my grandmother. She didn't lie to me. Thank God for a woman who don't lie. She did not lie to me. She told me about her hardships being in a relationship that was love. She advised me correctly. She told me not to go for love first because love is not an instant thing. Love is actionable. Love is doing. If we stop looking at love as though it's going to fix all things in our life, it's going to make the other person better, the person is going to be able to jump through hoops, the person is going to do and achieve so many things because they're in love, that's not true. And do we want to get into the part of how trauma affects the brain? Do y'all realize that some people don't got not even one more in them for love? Do y'all realize that? Do y'all realize I talk to women all the time? Some people don't even have one more. You know how y'all ever heard the expression when they say, I only got one more in me? If this man ain't right, I'm done. I'm never going to be looking for love again. I'm never going to think about marriage again. I'm done. Some people got zero in them. Zero left. Absolutely. Because when you continue to go through trauma over and over and over, it rewires your brain. It changes your perspective of the world. And everybody else doesn't come back from that. So I always look at this community. Now, I look at how blessed I am to be able to attract women who want to heal, who want to level up, who want to evolve, who want to live in their truth and authentic self. Because guess what? Some people have zero in them left. Some people have zero in them left. They don't have any more F's to give when it comes to even thinking about love. That's the reason why you see so many women on social media talking about, I don't care about love, I just want money. Because they don't have any more to give. Y'all have to realize, I don't look at them as though something is wrong with them. I understand trauma. When you continue to experience trauma over and over and over, you just shut down. You don't want to go out here and try. Every time that you have tried to attempt to break out of trauma, you've been kicked back or knocked back down. So your experience have taught you to not try again. And do you know how brave it is for women to say, hey, I've experienced trauma, but baby, I'm open, I'm willing to try again. Do y'all know how beautiful that is? But I also know how you might not got nothing but one more F to give. You got one more in you. And if it don't work out, you're done. You're just done. You're just going to go for money and you're going to be done with it. And when people have to understand, see, the thing is, I think that, especially in the Black community, we don't look at trauma. We don't look at trauma as a thing. We glorify trauma. We think that whatever doesn't, kill you, what is that little expression? Whatever doesn't kill you or whatever, we absolutely glorify that. And we pedestalize trauma. We think that is a necessary thing in order to get through life. Trauma is not something we should glorify. We should not be glorifying getting into traumatic situations and having to rewire and retrain and heal ourselves over and over and over. Because let me explain something to you. You're never going to get back to where you were in the beginning because you're always going to have a little bit of that jadedness that's going to be left over from prior experience. And you know how they say you should forgive and forget? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. And that's the honest truth of the matter. Because now you have some experiences that you should never forget. But of course you should heal. But I also understand why some women are just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. Because everybody doesn't come back from trauma. But we live in a community that glorifies trauma. And even if I was to take it away from the black community, I believe all communities are getting to a level of we glorifying it. We think if we continue to get hit upside the head, that we should stand back up. The thing is, eventually we learn not to stand up anymore because we're going to get hit over the head. We're going to get hit over the head. So trauma should not be glorified. There's nothing wrong with challenges, but trauma is an issue. Nothing wrong with being challenged to go to the next level or learn more. But being traumatized, we shouldn't be signing up to be traumatized. And I think we should stop promoting being traumatized. We should stop telling people what won't kill you and you'll get over it and it's going to get better and you should do this or you should do that. If you don't understand the brain, and I'm not even a doctor, I just love natural healing, inner healing work. That is my jam. I love that type of stuff, so I know a lot about it. But so I understand where some people just don't have 0 F's to give. They're not trying again. And guess what? People have what I'm starting to see is people have like a limit. There's like a limit. People have a limit of how much they can take. If they have tried it over and over and over and it didn't work out, eventually they're going to quit. They're not going to keep going and trying it over and over and over again. Now, I do encourage you, if you've only tried it once, heal, level up, retrain your brain, and try again. But if you've tried it over and over and over again, I got to understand why you don't want to re-traumatize yourself or why you don't want to try again. Trust me when I tell you, when y'all hear the expression of I only got 1 F to give, that is true. Some people have limits. They have limitations of how many times they're going to continue to try something over and over and over. And if it's not successful, they're not going to be trying to get love. They're just going to be trying to get money. And that is what it is. And I understand it, so I won't vilify it. Because I understand where people are coming from with it. But trauma shouldn't be glorified because not everybody makes it. Do y'all know the percentage of people who actually overcome trauma? It is not even 50%. Not even 50%. And it depends on what type of trauma. But a lot of people do not overcome it. A lot of time their brain is rewired by the trauma. So they live in that hamster wheel of that trauma. So they never overcome it. They never change the way they think. They never perceive it differently. So we can't sit here and bet that we're going to be over to overcome it. Do y'all realize we can't bet that you're going to be able to overcome trauma? Stop signing up for it, especially when you don't know how many F's that's inside you to give. If you already know you're already at your bare minimum, the best thing for you to do, especially if you want children, for children, I always recommend marriage because for 2-parent homes, it is the best situation. And that is statistically. And that's no hit at you if you do got kids. I'm just going by research. I'm going by what I can prove to be a sure thing. So I would say marriage. But do your due diligence and make sure that person at least aligns with your values, aligns with your beliefs and your morality, has the character that you want your children to exemplify. So I would definitely do that. And if you don't have any kids, you don't want any kids, and the only thing you want to do is get married for the safety and security, then do so. Do so. Like, we have to just stop and be honest about what we want. Because I really do believe that we basically are in that car and we definitely heading for a collision. Because one of the things that continue, it's a continuation, it's the same conversations over and over and over. Only thing I see is men vilifying women and women vilifying men. We have to realize that we're all somewhat experiencing some of the same things because we're human. Men are human too. And we don't ever need to forget that. All right, so let's see what everybody is saying because I've just been talking. Us young ladies got to keep it real with ourselves. No more dishonesty for the sake of a tainted idea of love. Y'all have to. And I think our elders are, I ain't going to say elders because you can't necessarily be an elder till you like 60. Like 60 and up, I would consider an elder. If you're in your 40s, maybe mentors. I would say our mentors need to start being honest too. Y'all start being honest with your little girls. Stop telling them the only thing they need is love. Tell them, be honest with them about the real world. They'll thank you later. I'm so happy that my grandmother, she was very honest with me. She was honest with me to let me know that I needed to look more and deeper than just love. And I'm thankful also that she taught me about love. She taught me that when it comes to meeting him, it's not love, it's lust. It's lust. You're not in love with that person. I don't care what they say about falling in love at first sight. That's not a thing. They fall in lust at first sight. Because love is actionable. It is doing. It is commitment. It is engaged and present. It is not this feeling and emotions. That is what they have lied to you all about. So you all get yourself caught up on the emotions and the feelings of it all. You grow in love. It's intentional, actionable steps that will love grow. Absolutely. That is what love is. We got to protect our cares. You can't just be investing your cares frivolously. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like the elephant, I'll never forget, but I will certainly grant myself the gift of forgiveness. Do I sell Southern Bells in their rose gardens? Absolutely. Absolutely. How to keep a man chasing? Be yourself. Y'all don't realize. Continue to work on yourself. Become the better version of yourself. Would you chase you? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself, would you chase you? Are you at that level where you feel like that a man would chase you, or would you chase yourself? Level up yourself, because I don't think these tricks that people give you all saying that, this is going to get a man to chase you. Guess what? Men are not a monolith. They aren't telling you the truth. There's not a specific way to get a man to chase you. There just isn't. I would, instead of looking outward, I would look inward, and I would ask myself one important question. Would a man chase me? Am I to that level where a man would chase me? Do I have things going on in my life where people would want to chase me or be around with me? Do I have anything that I want to give of value or have that's of value that other people want to chase or want to be around it? That is how you learn for men to chase you. People give you these asinine things to do and y'all eat it up. I've even given y'all those asinine things to do. If you are more interested in not a deeper answer, maybe just something that's surface level, I have a YouTube page. It's over there. I think I've done a video about how to get a man to chase you. But the thing is, there's no sure way. There is no sure way, because when it comes down to it, every man is different. All men are not the same, just like you're different. There's certain things that you would want or you would do to get a man to chase you, that you want him to chase you. Okay? And it's going to be different. But that's the answer I want to go with. Do you have anything to chase? Make sure that you are chaseable, and that if you were looking outward, looking at yourself from the outside looking in, would you chase you? Because I know I would chase me every day. But would you chase you? Do you have enough or bring enough value to any relationship for someone to chase you? And that's what I would ask myself first. But if I was to think about, let me think on something you could start today. Do that today though, because that would help. That would help. Absolutely, that would help you. If you ask yourself, do I have anything worth chasing? But level up as far as chasing. Cultivate a personality. Be someone who has a mind. Like, y'all stop listening to these people who are teaching you to be small and to make yourself small, to not have opinions. Have something to say. Cultivate your personality. Have a great personality to be around. If you want people to chase you, people always chase magnetic individuals, right? They chase people who have a personality, who is that you feel calm and you can feel your authentic self. Those are the most authentic. Those are the best people that get chasing. If you are that person that when people come and they're around you, they feel like they can be themselves, they can just let it all hang loose, people will chase you. People always want to be around you because you got a dope personality. Cultivate your personality. Become better and a better version of yourself. Personality is going to make you chaseable. Being a person that you can, that they can talk to. Like, do y'all know how hard it is to start conversations with some people? Some people just have the type of personality that they don't know how to communicate well. So work on your communication skills. Make sure that you're communicating exactly what you want to communicate. And then when you're having a conversation, listen. Do y'all know that a lot of times that people will chase you when they realize that you're that type of person that you actually listen. Because I realize the more that I'm on social media, I realize that people don't listen to their audience. They ignore their audience. And that's one of the things I pride myself. I do listen to my audience. I might not change everything, because if I love me, why would I change me? Okay? But I do listen. I do listen. I might not do all of it, because I look at what I'm doing. I do that internal check, and I be like, hey, I like this. This is working. I don't know this person, boom, 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 and I keep it moving. But look at your personality. Look at the way you communicate. See if you're a listener, because some people don't listen. They can't listen for squat. They think they listen. If you are having a conversation with a person and only thing you're doing is trying to figure out how to comprehend, you're not listening. Make sure become and be a great listener. Do y'all realize most people in the world, one of their biggest pet peeve is no one listens to them? No one. Like, no one listens to them. That's one of the things that I have been able to cultivate well with clients, is I listen to them and I pay attention to what they're saying. I don't negate it. I don't say, oh, that didn't happen or that can't be. I really listen. So pay attention to your personality, pay attention to your communication skills, make sure you know how to listen, and this will bring people to you. Always check in with yourself and say, hey, do I have anything worth chasing? Because some people are not honest with themselves. They don't have anything worth chasing. They don't have anything worth chasing. Always check, like she said, check the temperature and see if you have something worth chasing, and increase your value for you. Not because you're trying to get anything or be anything, because you want to be the better version of yourself. You want to continue to grow, level up, and become better. Am I currently that girl? Am I still becoming her? To be chased or not to be chased? Correct. Yes, I like that. Start asking yourself, am I that girl? Am I becoming her? What is considered value that's worth chasing? That is up to the woman. That is up to the woman. Your value is not determined by somebody else. That's up to you to determine what is your value. What do you bring? The thing is, people aren't honest with themselves. People don't do that internal check to see, are they bringing anything? Think about it. Some of y'all got friends right now. Only thing they bring is a bone. That's all they bring. They bring the latest gossip. They bring the latest what's going on, but they don't bring anything else. They ain't got nothing else going on in their life. They're not achieving anything. They're not becoming better. They're not doing any inner work. They're not doing anything. Some people bring nothing. Some people bring nothing. See, I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm not going to be careful of your feelings. Over here, we're going to shut those off for a second so that we can level up. Your value is considered by you. But some people aren't bringing anything, and they don't realize it. They're not cultivating anything. They're not increasing anything. They're not doing anything to make themselves better. But, of course, everybody brings that human value. Everybody has human value. But the thing is, working on yourself, you'll understand what your value. And then you'll think, I cultivate all these things. I have become better. I'm becoming a better version of myself. I will chase me. Perform a self-assessment with an honest lens. Absolutely. And that, my dear love, is the hard part right there. That's the hard part, right? When you do a self-assessment, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm a people pleaser. I like people to be happy. I care more about what other people think versus what's best for me. I change completely when I'm in a relationship. I stop being me and start becoming him. Like, this is when you're honest with yourself. And this is the hardest part. I'm not saying I'm these things. I'm saying this is what you have to do in order to become better. You have to start facing the very thing that you don't want to face, the elephant in the room. Do that self-assessment all the time in order to level up and become that girl. You want to become that girl that everybody wants to chase. So think about it. If you can look inward and ask yourself, would I chase me? That's a starting point right there. Some people don't realize you won't chase you. You're looking for someone to be better than you, and you are not that yourself. I would, yes, good question. Brill be checking our temperature all the time. She listens well. Absolutely. That's the reason why my Instagram is the way it is. I could make my Instagram about me, but why would I do that? This is more beneficial the way it is right now. It allows me to check the temperature of the room, to see where everybody's head is at, see what people are thinking. I always have content. I don't ever have to worry about having something to talk about. I already know always know what's going on social media. Brill's instructions aren't easy, but very simple. The most basic girl can pick up what she's putting down. Absolutely. And y'all know my content is about and for the average woman. It isn't, of course, I don't care. I'm glad that I attract some high value, high quality women who are already there. But I'm glad I'm attracting women who are just starting. And they want to know more about this lifestyle. They want to know more about how to increase their value. They want to know about how to become that girl. They want to know how to level up. So I'm happy I attract from all levels of women, seems like to me. And I'm happy about that. But start asking yourself, if you're trying to level up, become that girl, ask yourself, would someone chase you? And ask yourself, do you bring value? Some people are not, they're scared of that question. Most people are scared of, do they bring value? And yes, you determine the value. You determine the value, period, point blank. You should never put or have your value determined by somebody. Somebody else should not determine your value. You determine it. But if you're honest with yourself, you can determine what value you bring. You know what you bring. You know what anyone's getting when they get in a relationship with you. You know what anyone's getting when they get in a friendship with you. That you know what anyone's getting when you're employed or anything. You know what you bring. And that's the place to start if you don't know. If you're like, I don't know what I value, what value I have or what I bring to anything. Start there. Look at what you bring to relationships. Look at what you bring to friendships. Look at what you bring to your employment. Look what you bring to your business. Start there and start either deciding you need to cultivate that and increase it so that you can have people chasing you. Or maybe it isn't enough. Or it maybe is something that you need to work on and have it because you feel like you're lacking in it. The thing is, honesty is the only way you're going to be able to be that girl. You cannot be that girl if you're dishonest with yourself. If you go through life lying to yourself, thinking that you bring more than you actually bring, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're not harming anyone. You really aren't. You're harming yourself. If you wake up every morning, the only thing you do is you know how to chase gossip. You know how to bring a bone, but you don't know how to increase in your feminine gifts. You don't know how to tap into your intuition. You don't know how to do any of these things, but you know how to bring a bone. You know how to gossip. You cannot empower yourself. You can't go to that next level. I think some people harm themselves because everybody wants to think that all of us bring the same things and we do not. We do not. Empowered women thrive in healthy relationships. We can clearly discern who's who. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think some of y'all don't realize one of the things that there's a Southern saying. Y'all might have to correct me because I always get these sayings wrong. But there's a saying. Sometimes when you open your mouth, you let everybody know you're a fool. And some of y'all don't realize when you open your mouth, you let everybody know where you are and that you don't bring value, or if you do bring value. Because sometimes our conversations is an indicator of what we do bring to any situation. But we don't realize that. We're not paying attention to that. Because like I said, everybody brings that human aspect, that woman aspect to any relationship. But each and every one of us bring different things of value to a relationship. Every one of us brings something, or don't, because some of us don't. Some of us don't, and it's not because that we are trash human beings either. It's because maybe no one taught us or told us that we need to focus on these specific things. No one taught us that maybe we need to worry about increasing and cultivating our feminine gifts so that we can be of value to anything. No one taught us these things. Sometimes the reason that a woman only brings things that are not of value is because she hasn't been taught that the value of the things that she's supposed to bring that are of value. And like I said, we determine those things. And there's so many things. And I've done a video on women. It's called Ladies Increase Your Value. It's a video on YouTube. If you don't follow me on YouTube, y'all are missing out. I break down all my concepts. And anything that I talk about on these live streams, I break them down very, they're very easy to digest. But no one is going to tell you. Because, like I said, I'm not saying anyone's a trash human being or they're garbage because they don't bring a value. Because some things are not of value. And we need to be honest about that. Being a gossip is not of value. Being a liar is not of value. Being a cheat is not of value. These things are not of value. We have to figure out what is of value. Not only to ourselves, but things that can be utilized. And if you constantly ask yourself, would I chase me? You'll always be becoming a better version of yourself and leveling up and empowering yourself to the point you know that you bring so much value to anything that you do that anyone will be lucky to chase you. And that's actually a good starting point too. If you are into journaling like I am, that might be something to prompt. You can use that as a prompt. What do I bring of value to relationships, to friendships, to marriages, to my business? What do I bring of value? So you can start looking in and pinpoint those things that you bring of value. What are your thoughts on healthy communication, BS, dark, manipulative communication, dark femininity versus actually healthy and transparent communication? I feel most men only fall in love and chase toxicity. The thing is, if we were honest with ourselves, do y'all realize, and this is where people get a little upset, there's something called a reciprocal. If a man only falls in love with toxic things, the woman fell in love with toxic things also. They are reciprocal. We have to realize that not all men fall in love with toxic things or toxic situations. Some men are out here healthy, and they will absolutely avoid a woman who's using toxic things or to push the relationship forward. And there are some women also that would do the very same thing. So I don't feel like most men, because I know healthy men. I know tons of healthy men. And they would absolutely avoid women who are using that. I think the whole push and pull, because that's what you're talking about. People would be doing that push and pull where they sit here and start acting like they're interested in a person and then they withdraw and so that person can chase them. And it's a technique, but it only works on the unhealthy and the insecure. That's the only people it work on. It don't work on healthy people. Because let me tell you this. If you are talking to me, and we're having a good thing going on, we're starting to connect, and then you start disappearing and you ghost me for a while, baby, I am done. I'm on to the next one. I'm not going to wait around because I'm already noticing that you're playing games. I'm not going to stay around for the shenanigans. And there are men and women who will not. And I think we need to be honest. It's not just men who will literally fall in that trap or use those type of techniques. Women do too. Y'all, in the world, there's something called the law of polarity. Okay? Let's talk about it. If there's left, there is right. If there is bad, there is good. If there is right, there is wrong. The law of polarity. There is always our opposite. And it's there for a reason. It's there for a reason. Toxic strategies, if a person is using toxic strategies in order to push the relationship forward, this means that she also has some things she needs to work on also. Because that wouldn't be one that I would use if I'm looking for like a healthy relationship. But if I only want to, if you use a toxic relationship strategy, you cannot be surprised when you get someone to bite. You can't. Because it's going to work on the toxic person. It just is. Healthy will pass that person over every single time. They will not engage, date, or anything of that nature. I use toxic strategies. My friend told me to try the push and pull thing, yes. And my guy really showed up and chased me more. But I felt he was getting bored before. I'm a real good girl, and I didn't we realized how much it would work. Okay, the thing is that y'all know that's a red flag. Honestly, babe. It's a red flag that he fell for that. Because what he should have did when he saw you using it, instead of responding and reacting, he should have set you down and said, okay, look, I see that you have resorted to doing this. I really want to know where your head is at. I really want you to know that I really want a relationship with you, but I don't want to play these games. That's what healthy people do. So it's a red flag if he fell for it. If he didn't pull away, or if he didn't start wanting to have a conversation. It works. It works on unhealthy and toxic people. It works on them. Insecure people, it works on them. But do you want an insecure man when you got to constantly utilize those type of tactics in order for him to come around and do something that you want? That's the thing. It's a whole red flag. This means that man's a red flag. Because you don't know how many times you might have to utilize that technique in order to get his attention. And I wouldn't want to do that. If I were you, I would start hunting in other waters, as they say. I will be on the prowl in other ways. But if he's your, is that a boyfriend? Which y'all don't agree with any type of boyfriend or girlfriend relationships. Okay, well, I would definitely, you should be already dating others if you're not. But he's a red flag. Mark my words, that one may not end well. Because if you have to do those type of things and he didn't call it out and say, let's communicate, that maybe you misunderstood something. When a man wants you, he's going to come to you. And he sees something that you're doing is very negative. He doesn't run away. Masculine energy is going to be like very direct and be like, look, this is not something that I'm interested in. But if that's something you want to do, I'm not with it. Hopefully find or, get the guy that's going to be better for you, because I'm not it. He shouldn't have fallen for it. He's a whole red flag. No, it was in the past. I left him already. Good. Because I didn't want to play games. And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't want to. I don't understand this mindset of wanting to play games for the rest of your life. I don't want to play games. Just because I know the game, I'm not going to marry someone when I got to go tit for tat. I'm not going to marry someone when I got to be one step ahead of him because he's very manipulative. Just because you know about manipulation, just because you know about dark femininity, just because you know these tactics and techniques, it doesn't mean you should marry someone or hitch your wagon to someone who utilizes these. Because this means you're always going to have to find something new to do. That's the reason why some women are always in these spaces. Do y'all realize that's why some married women are in these spaces all the time? Because they're trying to find another technique, another tactic in order to stay one step ahead of their manipulative spouse. And I do not imagine my life being full of manipulation and games. I don't want that. And I don't know. I'm only speaking for myself. Some people thrive on it and want to, they thrive on it and want to be a part of the game forever. I do not. I would say that you would not want to hitch your wagon to a man that you have to play games or be manipulative in order to have a relationship with. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. If anyone, saw her question, if you are in that particular situation, because she isn't anymore, kudos to you for not being in that situation anymore. But if anyone else is going through that particular thing and you're trying to figure out how to get one up on him, you're in the wrong type of relationship. And you're just setting yourself up for tit for tat. Like going through your entire life playing a game in order to get ahead of that guy. That's not almost all men. Okay? That's not almost all men. There's some healthy men out there. There truly are. Some of us don't realize that because we're too far in the game. Some of us are too far in the game to actually be able to see the healthy ones that are out there. There are plenty of healthy men. I am surrounded by healthy men out the yin yang that would not even deal with the insecurity that women, the insecure games that women are putting out here. So it's not all men. Never ever start a sentence with all, because that's definitely not true. All right. I don't really see any other questions, so I'm going to get ready to go. But y'all, love doesn't fix everything. Stop encouraging our young women to get in a relationship and tell them to focus on just love, because love doesn't fix everything. Love is, it literally shines a spotlight on who you are as a person, especially if you don't know. And that seems to be the consensus with men and women. Neither one of them know who they are before they get in relationships. I might have to move then, because the area I live in, I have a culture of vultures. Okay. Y'all, maybe it's the environment. Like, y'all don't discount the environment, because sometimes it is the environment. I would never say it's the state. I would say it's the environment, because some areas are horrible to live in. Some areas is nothing but full of survival and struggle. And when you get survival and struggle, you shouldn't be surprised that y'all going to have a whole bunch of backstabbing and one-upness and dysfunctional relationships. That's just a known thing, because you're living in an environment that is nothing but struggle and trying to survive. When you're in that mindset of trying to struggle and survive, you cannot really be focused on the basic necessities, or, well, not focused on the basic necessities. You can't be focused on healthy. You're going to be focused on trying to survive and overcome that particular situation. I was mind blown. It worked so well. I realized a lot of men are trained to respond to toxicity, and healthy love doesn't stimulate them. That's not, y'all get away from all, because I know men right now. I know some men very by name that would run away from a woman who is literally trying to use these tactics in order to get attention or get a relationship out of them. I've been myself while dating my current guy better this way. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean there, babe. You might have to clarify. I've been myself while dating my current guy better this way. So hopefully that's going well. I'm assuming that everything's going well because you are yourself. Is that correct? Hopefully. I don't know. All right, but I definitely that's definitely been on my mind, because the more I see the responses, the comments on that video, I think that we have to take it away from what she knew. Not until she know nothing. Yes, going well because of that. That's great. I'm happy for you. I missed that was said last. Ooh, girl, I done forgot what I said last. I then got distracted by the comments. Yes, I live in a city where 80% of the people have a surviving mindset. So much that when men do make it to the top financially, they have scarcity mindset that someone in the city will take it away. It's time to move. Y'all, it's time to move. Y'all can't expect to have healthy relationships with a surviving mindset. You can't. Because you're too focused on trying to have a roof over your head, eat the basic necessities. Literally, it's called Maslow order of needs or something. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a scientific term that talks about you have to have those basic necessities met before you even consider a healthy relationship. But we tend to ignore that. It's pushed to be in love, and that's all that matters, that love will fix everything. That we tend to forget. Love don't pay for food. Love don't pay for the bills. Love doesn't keep a roof over your head. Love doesn't make sure that you have clothes on your back. And basic necessities have to be met first before we can even think about a comfortable relationship. Connection drop. Which video? For chasing, that's on YouTube. Just go to my YouTube page. Go up to the little search thing and put in chase, and it'll give you some it gives you some tips about chasing. I always say I need to work on myself before I get in a relationship. With any friend say a relationship helps you grow, but no, I want to know and be able to pick a healthy, functional man, and I applaud you for that, because they're going about it backwards. You need to heal before you date. Heal before you get any type of relationships. Address all of the underlying factors. People jump into relationships and they put too much pressure on the relationship. They put too much pressure on love. And then when that doesn't pan out, then they get mad at love. They get mad at being in a relationship. It wasn't that. It was because you really wasn't ready. You haven't cultivated your own value, your own feminine gifts, your own needs and wants. You don't even know what those are. So you're doing it correctly. Do the work first before you get into one. And I think one of the things that we negate to even think about, people don't realize that if your man is toxic, if your man is not a good person, have you ever evaluated, were you a good person when you met him? Where were you when you met him? What was your mindset when you met him? How did you feel about yourself when you met him? How did you see yourself when you met him? And I know that's thinking deeper, and that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to think about these things before we get in a relationship. A lot of us don't want to address that because we want to if you put the blame on the other person, then it becomes easy. We can always say we got in a relationship and they did us dirty. They didn't treat us right. But the thing is, how were you treating yourself? How did you view yourself? Were you every day sitting there thinking about yourself as you weren't nothing, that you weren't a good person, that you didn't deserve anything? Were you sitting here, did you have negative self-talk, but you out here dating? All these things help create and will help determine who you attract, who you bring into your life. If you don't believe you deserve anything good, you're not going to choose a great person for you. You're just not. If your self-view, your perspective of yourself, your internal talking, your self-talk is negative, do you really think you're going to bring positivity to yourself? You're not. A lot of us don't want to ask those important questions. Who were you when you were dating? When you decided to let this person in your life, can you honestly say you were a better version of yourself? A lot of us don't want to say that we weren't. You weren't being kind to yourself, period. So when you decided to let this person into your life, it is because you didn't see yourself as worthy. You didn't see your own value. You haven't cultivated any of those things in yourself. So you let someone in your life who is going to harm you in the first place. And we don't want to admit that. Trust me, everything is somewhat reciprocal. We live in a world that our inner determines our outer. Everything that's going on internally helps create our reality. So if we're not good to ourselves here, we tend not to be good to ourselves in dating. We tend to pick someone who is going to talk badly to us, who is going to mistreat us. If we like to mistreat ourselves, so when you do something bad, do you call yourself dumb? When you feel like you're not pretty or good looking, you call yourself ugly? You're not treating yourself well. You have to learn to treat yourself internally well. You have to love on you internally first. Get all of that together before you even start dating. Most of us don't want to admit that. Like, I can admit it. I can admit when I had bad relationships, when I was meeting horrible people, I mistreated myself. I played myself small. I didn't take myself seriously. I wasn't cultivating my value. I wouldn't chase me back then. So I understood why he didn't chase me, period. I didn't bring anything to the relationship that was going to be useful. But we have to actually do that internal work. And I know that sounds harsh. But in order for you to level up and to get to that next level and evolve and empower yourself, you have to ask yourself the hard questions. You're not going to get there by, not putting yourself through the paces. You're not going to get there by not asking yourself the hard questions. If you could get there not doing it, I would tell you all you could, but I can tell you can't. You can't. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. You have to look back at that other relationship and ask yourself, how are you treating yourself? And some of y'all weren't treating yourself bad internally. You thought you was a baddie, but then your actions didn't line up. So yes, on the inside, you like, I'm that girl, I'm that girl, I'm that baddie, I'm this, I'm that. But then you mistreat yourself by putting yourself in situations where they don't value who you are as a woman. You mistreat yourself by attaching yourself to people who talk down upon you, who don't believe in you, who don't like you, who don't want you around. So you mistreat yourself. So even if you have your self-talk together and it's not negative, what does your actions say? Is your actions saying that you treat yourself the way you're supposed to be treated? Are you treating yourself well? If you're not, that's the very reason why a lot of us get people who are going to mistreat us, because we are not treating ourselves well, so we don't think others should do that either. And that's the truth of the matter. Nobody wants to face it. Nobody wants to tell the truth of the matter. I will be the truth teller, if nothing else. I will tell you, when I was dating and being mistreated, it's because I had negative self-talk out the yin yang. I did not think I was a good person. I didn't think I looked good. I didn't think I wasn't a good person. I didn't treat myself well. I hung around people who mistreated me. I hung around people who called me names. I hung around people who talked about me behind my back. I hung around people who didn't recognize my value. I mistreated myself before they could even mistreat me. And that's what people don't want to face. That's the hard part of leveling up and becoming that girl. You want to become that girl? You want to be that girl that men chase? You want to have 3 proposals or more? You want to have men knocking themselves out trying to get to your door because they recognize a woman of value, a quality woman, a woman who recognizes her own worth? Ask yourself, are you the woman that should be chased? And do you treat yourself as such? And that's inside out. Because some of y'all are good about putting on makeup, putting on heels, looking good, smelling good. You do all the things, but you don't treat yourself well when it comes down to it. You attach yourself to people who mistreat you. You don't choose yourself first every single time. Ask yourself that correct question and you'll be able to go deeper. You'll level up. You'll start becoming that girl. Trust me when I tell you, you'll start having men chase you. And you're not doing all these extra things they're telling you to do. And then when I have my dating workshop at the end of the month, I got some more stuff that's going to help y'all become that girl. Because it's time for y'all to stop chasing men and for men to start chasing you. Once you start experiencing that, you will no longer have this thing in your head where you think that you have to do certain things for a man to chase you. When you know you are that girl, you don't worry about somebody chasing you because you know you're worthy of being chased. You know you bring so much that why wouldn't it chase you? But we're going to talk more about that in the dating workshop on May 29th and the 30th. I don't have any more seats on May 28th. It's full. May 29th is almost full. May 30th, I have more seats available. So if you're interested in that, go to my bio and click that link. I always forget that. But yeah, I could leave it as it is because I don't care about numbers. I care more about reaching women and having more of that intimate setting. That's what I care more about. So I ain't trying to have my workshop to be out of control. I want to have intimate settings so I can have that one-on-one with people, with women. Because it's for women only. Because I know I have men that follow me also. But it's for women only. I am not accepting any men. All right, so I'm going to get ready to go, and y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you all on the next one. Y'all have a great one. Bye.